They're sometimes called longevity genes because they regulate important processes like DNA repair, inflammation control, and again, autophagy. So when you take an NAD booster or a Sirtuin activator, you're supporting mitochondrial efficiency, reducing cellular aging, and enhancing metabolic health. So NAD plus is essential for cellular energy like ATP production, which is what that means, DNA repair and activating sirtuins. You can boost NAD naturally, and there are some supplements that you can take to do this. Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, where women optimize. I'm your host, Brittany Ford, holistic nutritionist and wellness entrepreneur, and I'm here to help you live in alignment with your body and nature. This podcast blends cutting-edge science with soul-led strategies to support you through every phase of womanhood, from fertility to longevity and everything in between. Each week, we dive into functional medicine, women's health, holistic healing, and biohacking tools that empower you to take control of your wellness journey. Let's redefine what it means to thrive together. Hi, and thanks for tuning into today's episode. I'm thrilled that you are here. Today is, if you're listening to this on the day it is published, it's July 11th, which is the day my baby was born. Happy birthday, Callahan. 1 year old. My gosh. Makes me want to cry. Yeah, it's a big day. So shout out to all the mamas listening. I see you and you're so beautiful and you are so resilient. And yeah, I just really want you to hold your kids close today. This is a Q&A episode. Mostly I'm going into one question that I received. And we're going to be talking about the difference between really trendy longevity, and it's not really supplements, kind of supplements, but more of the detoxing pathways that we can really activate and work through. So we're going to be talking about Spermidine. We're going to be talking about the NRF2 pathway. I'm going to talk about NAD and Sirtuins and everything along those lines. Really, really hot topics within the longevity space. And we're going to dive into the differences between them, what all of those words even mean, what they stand for, what you should care about. And I'm going to be really honest about like what works and what doesn't work, and my 2 cents and what I think you should kind of do and take action from this episode. Before we dive in, a shout out to Bioptimizers. Right now, I mean, if you are listening to this the day that it comes out, it is still Amazon Prime days. So they're actually doing 35% off all of their supplements, up to 35%. And that includes the magnesium that I talk about all of the time. So their magnesium has all 7 types of magnesium in it. We are mostly deficient in magnesium, and most of us are deficient in magnesium, and it is involved in over 300 processes in the body. Magnesium is one of those supplements that's a must for me. It's been in my stack for years, like years. It's so important. I travel with it. I won't go anywhere without it, because as someone who can get burnt out and overwhelmed and stressed and even anxious, it is something that can really, really help me and make me feel more grounded. And it's the thing I like about it as well is like magnesium is not some like, well, how do I say it? New thing that people have put patents out and, it's like this trendy thing. It's like, no, it's a mineral that we all need in our bodies. And it's just so important. And sadly, we cannot get enough from our food. So go on Amazon. I will put that link. It's a special link. I'll put it in the show notes and on my website so that you can get up to 35% off. You can also get 35% off their enzymes. I think that's the biggest discount I've ever seen them do. Again, I travel with those enzymes. You better believe I'm using them multiple times a week, especially in the summer if I'm eating like ice cream or, something out of the ordinary. Okay, check out Bioptimizers. I will also link all of their products. You can use my discount code on their website, BIOHACKINGBRITTANY, which will save you. And I'll put their Amazon storefront as well. So it's super easy for you. And thank you so much for listening. And thank you for all the positive feedback lately. I love when people email me and they're like, oh my gosh, I love your show. I'm like, wow, someone's listening. That's great. Sometimes you feel like you're talking to yourself, we have actually put out some really fire episodes recently. I did a full analysis of Callahan's DNA with the founder of the DNA company, Kashif Khan. And man, was that eye-opening. That was the episode before this one. Seriously, go listen to it. If you were thinking about getting your kids' DNA tested or your own, strongly suggest that you go and listen to that episode because it honestly, it breaks down what you can do in order to live the healthiest life possible based off of your blueprint of your genetics. And it goes above and beyond just like, MTHFR gene, and this is what it means for you for detoxing. It goes way beyond that. We talk a lot about my son's genes, like what his build is going to be like, what his emotional state is going to be like, how he's going to do with nutrition and food, and what careers are actually suited best for him. Now, mind you, genes are only one aspect, right? There's so much that comes into play with how somebody grows up and shapes, their life is shaped and everything like that. Like obviously there's nature versus nurture. That's a huge debate, but I really suggest diving into that and getting your DNA tested yourself as well. I have mine done. My husband has his done. Now we have our kids done. And also once you do your DNA, you never have to do it again because it doesn't change, right? So check that out. And the week before that, I'm just going through this in my mind here. I did an episode with the founder of Seed. And Seed is a company, I mean, if you're in the wellness space, you know what Seed is. This is arguably the most popular probiotic on the market, and it's everywhere. And I actually got to sit down with the co-founder, Ara, and we had a beautiful discussion about, again, kids and vaginal deliveries versus C-sections and breastfeeding and the vaginal microbiome and kids microbiome. And she wrote a kid's book and all of this beautiful stuff. And I was very inspired by her. And we even talked about parenting approaches too. We talked about like gentle parenting versus attachment parenting and kids growing up in society today and really what that means and all these different things. So check that out. Some really fire episodes lately. Don't miss out on them. Thank you for tuning in, and let's dive into this episode. Okay, so someone wrote in. She said, "Hey, hun, quick question on Spermidine. I take Protandim NRF2 activator, plus I take an NAD Sirtuin product. Do you know about these products and how different they are to Spermidine? I'm not sure if you're aware of our NRF2 pathway and its benefits for glutathione, NRF1 and mitochondria, and Sirtuins and their benefits for autophagy. Would love to know if you've done comparison research on both." This is such a juicy topic, so let's unpack this together. Let's start with Spermidine, okay? And of course, I do know about these pathways, so we're going to explain all of this. But I really want to start with Spermidine. Spermidine is a naturally occurring polyamine, and it's basically a molecule that's found in all living cells. It's been shown to promote autophagy, which is the body's natural way of cleaning out damaged cells and regenerating newer, healthy ones. The way that I think about this is like autophagy is kind of like a cleanup crew coming to clean your house. Like you hired a cleaner and they're mopping the floors. Then the house is clean and beautiful after and new. It's kind of like how I feel like autophagy is. Spermidine levels decline as we age, though, and research shows supplementing can support cellular renewal, brain health, and potentially even longevity markers. It's been called a fasting mimetic because it can induce autophagy without actually fasting, which we love, especially as women, which we don't want to fast very often or for very long. And it's pretty cool for those of us who don't want to live on green juice forever. So my favorite Spermidine that I take is the one by SpermidineLIFE. I have been using their product on and off for years, and I strongly recommend it to everybody. I love the company. I love what they stand for. And they have the highest dosage in a supplement form. And it's a very, very clean form as well. Spermidine is one of those things that like you can't really get enough from your diet because of where it's from. So, it's like in wheat germ, which I don't eat a lot of, And even if I were to eat a lot of wheat germ, you would need so much to be able to get the amount of spermidine that you can get in a supplement in order to see the benefits. So I like SpermidineLIFE, and it is part of my longevity supplement stack, and I've been taking it. You can use my discount code BIOHACKINGBRITTANY, and I will also put my affiliate link so that you can actually save and order and be able to order it for yourself. Now, let's dive into the NRF2 pathway. The NRF2 pathway is one of our master regulators of antioxidant defense. So when it's activated, this pathway NRF2 moves into the nucleus of the cell and turns on genes that produce antioxidant and detoxification enzymes. Think like glutathione, our master antioxidant, plus other protective compounds that help mitigate oxidative stress and inflammation. So it is a pathway that regulates how we use our antioxidants in defense. So some of us do it better and some of us don't. And there are products that can actually help with this. So products like Protandim claim to activate this pathway to increase the body's own production of these protective compounds, if that makes sense, rather than just like relying on external antioxidants. So they activate the pathway through the different parts that's in their supplement. And I'm going to get to that in a second. So essentially, these activators for this NRF2 pathway help your body defend itself better, reduce cellular stress, and support mitochondrial function. So let's get to some like examples and types of this so we can really, really understand this before moving forward. So this pathway, which stands for nuclear factor erythroid 2 related factor 2, what a name, is a major cellular defense mechanism. And like I said, it controls the expression of antioxidant and detoxifying enzymes, helping combat oxidative stress, which is a key driver of aging and chronic disease. So some of the natural activators include sulforaphane, which is found in cruciferous vegetables, especially broccoli sprouts. This is one of the most potent natural activators. And that's why you kind of see that supplement everywhere. At least I do, like sulforaphane, I see all the time on Amazon and on different places. And they talk about, exactly this detoxing antioxidant longevity pathway. Then we have curcumin, which is the active compound in turmeric. A lot of people know about this because it's super anti-inflammatory, and it actually does help as well with antioxidant gene expression. And then we have resveratrol, which you know from wine, found in red grapes and berries. It does activate both the NRF2 and Sirtuins as well, providing a double benefit. Then we have green tea molecules as well, like the green tea catechins. The most popular one we know about that is the EGCG one. Again, I see this everywhere, and this is actually shown as well to activate the NRF2 pathway and support other detox pathways. This one is actually related to weight management and weight loss as well, so you will see this in a lot of weight loss supplements. We have quercetin, which is a flavonoid in apples, onions, and capers, and this does support this pathway and mitochondrial health. And the last one that I will mention is astragaloside IV, or no, I don't think it's IV. Astragaloside. This is from the herb astragalus, and it's often used in longevity formulations. So supplements like Protandim combine several of these to synergistically activate the NRF2 pathway. I do want to say, just a side note here, I have not taken Protandim ever. I've never tried it, and so I cannot personally speak to its effects. I'm just answering this person's question, and I know Protandim is a really popular supplement in the longevity space, so we're just breaking it down. There is research that does show that activating this pathway can actually make you healthier because it can increase glutathione production, which is your body's master antioxidant. It protects mitochondria from oxidative damage. It supports detoxification by upregulating phase 2 detox enzymes. I think I need to do a full detox episode, to be honest. and may reduce inflammation markers and improve resilience to environmental toxins. So you can see here already how different these activators are versus spermidine. Spermidine is a single molecule that is in all of our cells already. It is a biomimetic, right? We already have it in our body. Therefore, we naturally absorb it. It can't cause any side effects because it's something that we are just naturally increasing that's already in our cells that actually decreases as we age. Versus the NRF2 activators, we don't have curcumin in our cells. It's not how that works. This is a pathway that we are activating with certain molecules, certain substances from plants, whatever it might do or might be, in order to get that pathway to be regulating better and increasing our antioxidant defense. So these are two different things. Spermidine is working on autophagy. Things like protandem are increasing or upregulating the NRF2 pathway. But if we actually take a step back, they're kind of both working towards the same goal of longevity, better energy, and cellular health, which then in turn obviously makes us healthier, right? So what does that mean for us in a actual day-to-day basis? That means that you can wake up in the morning with more energy. You have more stable moods. Your hormones are more regulated. You can sleep better stress management. You can absorb your food better as well, use your nutrients better. Like everything, if we look at kind of the cascade of how health works, everything really does come back to cellular health because it is at the most minute level. So if we can really, really figure out how to get our cells to just perform better and be healthier, clean them up better, then there's like a cascade there of like that leads to healthier hormones, healthier detox pathways, healthier organs, etc., etc. Ever snap at your partner over something small and then wonder, why did that bother me so much? Or maybe you're waking up groggy, craving sugar, breaking out, or feeling just off in your body, like your hormones are whispering or yelling that something is out of balance. If any of this sounds familiar to you, you are not alone. These are signs your body is calling out for support, and magnesium might be the missing piece. Magnesium is one of those non-negotiable minerals, especially for women. It plays a critical role in hormone regulation, stress response, blood sugar balance, sleep, and even skin and muscle function. But here's the problem. Most of us are deficient, especially during high stress seasons. Hello, modern life, motherhood, and go careers. Food alone often isn't enough. So that's why I take Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers every single night. It's the only formula I found that includes all 8 forms of magnesium, including magnesium orotate, which specifically supports metabolic and hormonal health. I love it because it helps with deep restorative sleep, stress relief and nervous system regulation, better digestion and fewer cravings, and supports my body through every hormonal phase, from luteal to postpartum. This is your permission slip to slow down and nourish yourself at the cellular level. Go to bioptimizers.com/biohackingbrittaney and use code biohackingbrittaney for 10% off. Even better, subscribe and you'll never miss a month. Plus, you'll unlock deeper discounts and free gifts as well. Trust me, your body, your mood, and your hormones will thank you. Okay, moving on to NAD and Sirtuins. Also, by the way, if it sounds like I pronounce things funny, I'm in Canada. So first of all, there's a Canadian accent hanging out here. And I'm also from South Africa. I was born there, lived there for a lot of my childhood. So my South African accent tends to come out, especially when I have to pronounce words that are words I don't say in a typical day. So sometimes people I got this DM once and it was like, oh, you're pronouncing this one word wrong. And I was like, actually, I just have a combo accent and that's kind of where that is coming from. Okay, let's dive into NAD. I love NAD. I think this is super interesting. NAD is a critical coenzyme found in every cell. It's essential for energy metabolism and mitochondrial health, and it basically keeps the lights on in your cells. Sirtuins are a family of proteins that depend on NAD to function. So again, if we're like talking about a cascade here, right? NAD would be at the top, and then sirtuins are below it, relying on NAD. They're sometimes called longevity genes because they regulate important processes like DNA repair, inflammation control, and again, autophagy. So when you take an NAD booster or a serotonin activator, you're supporting mitochondrial efficiency, reducing cellular aging, and enhancing metabolic health. So let's get into some of the examples of this. Let's talk about NAD first. So NAD plus is essential for cellular energy, like ATP production, which is what that means, DNA repair and activating sirtuins. You can boost NAD naturally, and there are some supplements that you can take to do this. So the most common one that people know about is NMN, and this is shown to raise NAD plus levels effectively. Yes, I do take this. I take the NOVOS one. So I will link that in the show notes. You can use my discount code. NOVOS is pricey. I love them. I really do, but it is pricey. So definitely use my discount code BIOHACKINGBRITTANY so you can save. I take their core. So they have a powder called NOVOS Core, and then they have an additional supplement you can add to it. And that is pure NMN. And I take that as well. Then you have NR, which is another precursor with good absorption, but it's actually not as great as NMN, which is why it's not as popular. And then we have niacin, which is vitamin B3. This is a more traditional precursor, obviously been around for a very long time in supplement form, and higher doses can cause flushing, which is why you have to be a little careful with it. Those are kind of like the common supplements. There's way more I could get into for that, but for the sake of this. And then there's things that you can actually do lifestyle-wise that actually increase NAD. So intermittent fasting, we know does it. Caloric restriction. This naturally upregulates NAD and serotonin activity. Exercise. So increasing NAD levels can improve mitochondrial function. And heat and cold exposure. So sauna, cold plunges, stressors that can support NAD metabolism. There are a lot of benefits of higher NAD levels. So you can improve mitochondrial biogenesis and energy production, enhance DNA repair, like I talked about, and potentially slow cellular aging through that method. And higher levels of NAD supports metabolic health and insulin sensitivity, may improve neuroprotection and cognitive function. Very, very interesting. So I think NAD is talked about a lot, and I've definitely talked about it on the show before. Definitely listen to those episodes if you want to dive deeper. Now let's talk about serotoins. So serotoins are different, right? They are a family of proteins. So it's serotonin 1 to 7. And these act as longevity regulators, and they depend on NAD plus to function. So we can kind of go through, some of the key ones. So there's serotonin 1, which supports fat metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and inflammation control. 3 works in mitochondria to protect against oxidative stress. 6 is involved in DNA repair and telomere maintenance. And 7 is linked to ribosomal RNA transcription and stress resistance. Now, how do you activate these? Because you're not going to take it, right? You can't take it in a supplement. They're a family of proteins. It doesn't work like that. But you can increase NAD availability through NMN, NR, fasting, exercise, which would then activate the serotonins so you could have more. There's also polyphenols like resveratrol that can help as well, and pterostilbene, which mimic caloric restriction effects and stimulate serotonin 1. And then spermidine. So spermidine, kind of like what I was saying earlier, has been shown to induce autophagy and therefore support serotonin activity indirectly. That's the key word there. So there are some research benefits of serotonin activation. So it promotes longevity and health span in animal models. It improves metabolic flexibility, supports cardiovascular health by improving endothelial function, and enhances stress resistance at a cellular level. So those are the different types. I think that is helpful now that we kind of like understand these different spaces for really what we're looking for here. Now, all three of these, or even four if you want to say, Spermidine, NRF2 activators, NAD, and Sirtuin boosters, support cellular health and longevity, but they do it through different pathways. So Spermidine primarily boosts autophagy directly and supports cellular renewal. NRF2 activators enhance the body's natural antioxidant defenses and detoxification, protecting cells from oxidative damage. NAD, and therefore Sirtuins, because they're related to each other, improve mitochondrial function, support DNA repair, and also encourage autophagy indirectly. So you can think of them as kind of like working in a complementary way rather than competing. Many longevity experts actually stack these together because they hit different longevity switches in the body. So, $1 million question. Should you take all three? This depends. It really depends on your goals, your health status, and how your body responds. And arguably, it depends on your DNA as well. Like, have you had your DNA tested and you know, man, I struggle with detoxification, or I struggle with this detox 2 pathway, right? So some people actually could really use these more than others. Some people start with NAD and NRF2 products to reduce oxidative stress and improve energy, then layer in Spermidine for deeper cellular cleanup and autophagy benefits. So you need to decide what you think is best for you, but you could stack them. I mean, stacking them supports your body's defense, maintenance, and renewal systems, and this is like a trifecta for healthy aging. I often say like longevity isn't about living longer, it's about maintaining function and vitality at every decade. And so if you combine these interventions, you can create an internal environment that favors clear, youthful cells, robust mitochondria for energy and mental clarity, and strong antioxidant defenses and lower chronic inflammation. Personally, I love Spermidine for its direct support of autophagy and cellular renewal. I think it's very important. Feels like a gentle nudge for my cells to stay youthful and clear out what no longer serves them. And this is similar to how we declutter our homes or reset our routines. I also think that NAD is super important, which is why I take NOVOS Core, which supports NAD, boosting it. And I also take NMN, their other NMN supplement on top of that. And the NRF2 path activators, I have not taken this specific one, Protandim, but I have taken them in like separate formulations. And I think if you are working on energy, detoxification, and resilience, honestly, like I would take all three. Yeah. I hope this breakdown helps. And I hope it helps clarify the differences and potential synergies actually between them. And if you're curious to learn more about stacking them or want me to dive deeper into protocols and dosages, DM me on Instagram at BIOHACKINGBRITTANY or send me a message. And I would absolutely love to help you and answer your questions so that you can feel your best and your most vibrant self. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who's also obsessed with living long, strong, and clear-headed. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you next week for another episode. Thank you for listening to Biohacking with Brittany, where women optimize. If you loved this episode, share it, subscribe, and leave a review to help more women step into science-backed, soul-led wellness. To go deeper, check out the show notes for upcoming retreats, live events, my course, and the latest on socials. Until next time, keep listening to your body, trusting your intuition, and optimizing every step of the way.